So starting in the south, we have Eery. Eery, a very consistent top 3 finisher in tournaments. Past few tournaments, he's been performing really well. But he's been performing really well for the last few years, really. Also in the original game. In the final AOEO tournament, he placed second or third, I think. And his challenger today is Verhuver, who is a relatively new player for AOEO standards. I think he only played in Celeste, I'm not sure about that. But he's been playing better and better. Been playing in some tournaments as well, and well, he made it out of the group stages. He did finish second in his group stage, and everyone in the round of 8, all the second place finishers face off against someone who finished first in his group. So of course Eery finished first. And the reason why I like this map is because you have all these small ponds in the middle, and it opens up a lot of possibilities for strategies. So you can go for a fast dock. It looks like both players are going for a fast barracks. What's up, Greeky? If you guys could give me some feedback about the sound once again, it would always be nice. So let's see what's going on in this game. Verhuver scouting out the base of Eery. He knows the Rex is coming. Eery is just scouting about. He's about to go by Verhuver's base now, but there's already spears crossing the map, so actually you can see his camera on the minimap is right here, so he knows they are coming. Let's see what he decides to do. Yeah, I think after scouting that barracks there, he decided to go back and play defensive with his Parabara. Could even get a tent to help with the defense. And the first spear is already here. Let me quickly get rid of the chat hider. Sup Kaiser, sup Adne. So no player sneaking out for a dock just yet. Actually, there we go. So Eery has this pond really close by his base, which he could defend. So far he's outnumbering Verhuver, who only has the 3 spearmen right here. And he is catching Verhuver here. Very nice. Verhuver is busy macroing in his own base. Doesn't realize that his spearman got caught here, and well, Eery gets a very nice trade there. Pushing Verhuver back. But Verhuver did get some important scouting information there, that there's a dock going up for Eery. And I think he's looking at this dock himself, yes, so he's decided to send a villager himself. So it's going to be interesting to see in this game who will take control of the ponds. There's 5 of them. Eery building that storehouse on stone, getting ready for a second town center. And he's pushing with a Sparabara, and that's a lot of Sparabara. Looks like Verhuver may catch him off guard here. Very nice run by here. I think Eery would be fast enough, nice reaction time there. And pulling away the villager. But he does lose the storehouse there. At the same time, that does mean his spears are not at home to defend. Let's see what Eery does with it. I think he could just walk straight in here. Verhuver's moving on to the berries. That's a lot of lost gathering time right there. Killing the storehouses. And these Parabara can tank a lot of pierce damage. with that 40% pierce resist. Very nice there, Verhuver getting a villager actually, that's unexpected. I guess Eery may need a warm up right there. But I don't think Verhuver is out of trouble just yet. All these villagers are not gathering directly next to a storehouse. And now they are under direct attack. Verhuver is H2 right now though, so he could be making some high pass pist. There he goes. Let's get a villager count. 19 for Verhuver to the 23 of Eery. So keep in mind that fishing boats also count as villagers. Here's the counter attack by Verhuver. Looks like Eery did get that A10, so the villagers are being healed up. Ooh, that's very close. It's a very nice spot for town center. There's actually 2 gold mines that are very close to each other. You don't often see that. Actually, those 3 gold mines are very close to each other. So it looks like Verhuver finally cleaned up the Sparabara rush. But he is behind 4 villagers. And it's partly because he did not build any fishing boats, even though he had the dock for a while. And at the same time his town center is also a lot later than Eery's. So far Eery looking pretty strong in this game. He just scouts out the infantry from Verhuver right here. Ooh, and Eery is building a dock in the pond that Verhuver is just building his first fishing boat. And I don't think Verhuver has scouted this. No, he hasn't. Eery adding an archery range. And then there he goes, building the galley. Verhuver has no idea, he's only just about... He doesn't have the wood at all, his wood is very low, and he also needs to spend wood on a second town center. He's built a lot of production. So he may be able to pump out some military units a bit quicker than Eery for a short while. I like how Eery is waiting until he has 2. Verhuver is just spending more and more, investing in this pond. And Eery strikes at the moment where it's too late for Verhuver to build his own triremes. This town center by Verhuver is very late though, I must say. He is building Taxodi, so he's spending wood on that. I think this is about the time where Eery goes in. And yeah, once you see 2 galleys arrive at your fishing pond like this and you have nothing of your own, it's best to abandon ship. There's the town center by Verhuver. So a couple of minutes later than Eery. Eery is up by 11 villagers right now. So a very big lead by Eery. He's looking very strong here in game 1. Even his military count. Lots of Sparabara. 17 Sparabara. Just went for the double archery range, and there's the stables. And this is the army by Verhuver. What's up, Survey Momia? Yeah, and Eery takes this spawn, no contest. Both players just macroing up right now. Eery getting some upgrades, upgrading his Parabara. We're transitioning into some more stables. You got the 2-2-2 right now. 2 stables, 2 archery ranges, 2 barracks. He's pushing in. You can see in the score that he's a bit ahead. Decides to act on that. And there's some units of Verhuver on the side here. He did build a duck there. Nice Eery flank. And remember, there's no spearman from Eery at all. So no massive damage output on the series if they get caught. Nice series flanked by Verhuver, but is it going to be enough? Eery is climbing ahead in the population and it looks like he will just have too much for Verhuver right now. This has the bigger economy, can afford a bigger army, and it looks like that's game. Verhuver is doing a nice job in getting all the pawns, but just didn't have the forces to defend. And there we go. In 11 minutes, Eery takes the first game. Right, so now Verhuver can pick the next map. So let's take a quick look at the stats here. It looks like Verhuver just had a lot of moments where he wasn't building villagers. He lost, I think this was during the rush, during the Sparabara, all being in his base. And Eery also missing some beats, it's important to note. I think in this round Eery can afford to have a villager queue that looks like this, but in later rounds has to step it up. A very big difference in such a short game. Eery outgathering Verhuver by 4k. Killing a lot more units. So what do you guys think? Because if you look at the current unit populations, this only counts. This counts every unit as one. Well, maybe it should take into account population, but then maybe also the units killed should take into account population. So every series killed should count for 2. Could be potentially changed in the future. Let's quickly check the idle villagers. Very nice by both players being on top of their idle villagers. Alright, let's get into the next game. Alright, so the next map will be Watering Hole. And Eery is playing his Persia. And Verhuver is going for the Babylonians. Right, so the next map is Watering Hole. Eery playing his Egypt. He's found a very close by hunt. I think they always spawn this close on this map. And Verhuver going for some Babylonian. So we haven't seen this civilization that much so far this tournament. So it's, I'm interested to see how this will play out. I really like this map. It of course has the watering hole in the middle. We've seen some players go for an early duck on this map. It looks like Verhuver is going for the quick spearman rush. Let's see what Eery decides to do. The map is pretty big, so I think as Egypt you can afford to go for a quick H2 and get some X-Men to defend against the rush. And of course you also have the scout to help hit the spearmen as they cross the map. It looks like Eery is going for a dog. So this is going to be interesting. There's already spearmen on the way and Eery will have to defend this. Will he be able to defend this? So I did see Verhuver scout pass by right here. He did not scout the duck though, so Eery might get lucky. These spearmen just go along the right side. So there we go, Eery sees the spearman. Let's see how he responds. Verhuver now scouting the dock as well. First fishing boat is already on the way and they do have 8 pierce DPS as you can see there. So with a few fishing boats can defend some spearmen. But I think if Verhuver rallies all his spearmen to the dock, he can take out the duck. He decides to go for the hunt instead. Of course also a good decision. And there's no defenses by Eery. Let's see. Does have the 200 wood right now. Let's see what he goes for. He's going for the temple, so he's just going straight for the age up, relying on his town center to defend here. He also has some sheep here, very nice, so he could gather some food from that. Verhuver does take the storehouse down though. It looks like these fishing boats are actually faster than... like they can escape from the snare, so you can just go around the hole, come back and shoot a bit. But the spearman count is rising quickly. Up to 4 spearmen right here. Of course these fishing boats can also repair each other. You're just making more and more fishing boats to try and defend against this. And it looks like he will be able to. He may have to send something over or repair the dock later on. And he has a trireme in queue right now, so once this trireme gets out, the spearmen have to get the hell out of here. The kiting with the fishing boats, very nice. Love to see it. He's keeping all the fishing boats alive. And I think he will be able to save the dock as well. Let's see what Verhuver is doing behind this. Looks like he's not doing that much really. No H up. And there's the trireme. Spearmen are trying to focus down this fishing boat, but the repair is just too strong. Oh no. It's a very nice hold by Eery. Just making a second trireme. And only now is Verhuver edging up. I mean, he did make Eery go on the barriers, but overall this was very good for Eery. He's up by a few villagers already. Very nice. Verhuver getting hunting dogs, which was recently updated to now also include 25% conservation. Allowing him to stay on these deer for a bit longer before having to move out on the map. Looks like only 2 spearmen survived, and Verhuver can kick Eery off these hunts for now, I think. Curious to see what Eery will do next. He's going for stone, but he's also racking up a lot of resources. He's got a lot of gold. And of course, Egypt players like to go to H3 really quick. Oh, I really like how Eery built a house right here to prevent the spearmen from getting through. It's those little things that make the difference at this level of play. Right, so Verhuver did get this town center up a lot earlier than Eery. Did lose the water. There's triremes patrolling around here. But he's definitely not out of this game yet, at all. Greeky in the chat saying, if executed well, I think Verhuver could have had such an advantage. Yeah, and I agree. That first spearman that was killing the hunt did some damage, but I think if he rallied all his spearmen here, he could have killed the duck. Ooh, and here he has no units to defend, and he's just using his villagers to kill these spears right now. Actually, there's the X-Men coming in already. Dancing around with the priestess of Ra. And everything in Eery's army just survives barely. Doesn't bother repairing these fishing boats back up. Back in Verhuver's base, looks like he's going for the 1-1-1. 1 archery range, stable. See 2 archery ranges. And Eery is booming on the water. 5 fishing boats already. He already got the upgrade for them. Not that much military yet. He still may be going to a quick H3. "37 villagers to the 35. Of course, that includes ox carts, so the villager count is looking pretty equal. Also interesting to note that Verhuver did not make any gardens yet. And there's the H3. Going off the 1 barracks and a later stable. Straight into the 3rd age. It looks like he will be going for Camel Axemen. Perhaps some chariots. It's always a solid composition. Yeah, interesting to see, Greeky pointing out in the chat. Interesting to see that Verhuver is going for the 1-1-1 here, going for some archery range units. Well, lately we've seen a lot of heavy stable play by Babylonian players. And especially on this map, which is a really big map. You very often see a lot of Lancer mounted archer. Eery has units all over the map, scouting out what Verhuver is doing. Yeah, it looks like that stable play. What I was talking about for the Babylonians. Looks like Eery may just go for that and not use his barracks as much anymore and just go for lots of camels and some chariots. He's upgrading their speed already. I like these Axemen spread all around the base. There's the gardens, very nice. Oh my god, Eery is just adding some more docks and really capitalizing on his advantage here of having the water 1. Looks like this Lancer range will not do much. Oh, we juked him out. Coming back round. He could get a villager now. Looks like he's just running around the base distracting Eery. Some very nice watch posts being added now by Eery. And Verhuver is moving out. He is ahead in population right now. And that's because Eery spent resources on going to H3 right now. Already kills the first trireme. Eery quickly queues up another one. I think there's still one on the right side. Oh, there's it. And there's the trireme, but it's getting snared by spearmen in the back. If he quickly focuses it down here. The triremes are so good against land units. Look how many bowmen are falling here because of the splash. And Eery is just using all his docks to create some more. And that's without units to defend. He still has the army as well. Verhuver pushing in, but all his units are all clumped up together, so the splash damage from the triremes is just wrecking these bowmen. And this is a scary looking army for Eery. He already has some upgrades. There's some melee attack upgrades from the army already. Verhuver is doing a nice job trying to distract Eery on the right side with the Lancers. No armor yet for Verhuver. So Eery is slowly climbing ahead in the upgrades. Small rallying mistake here by Verhuver, and by now Eery has caught up in the population, and it looks like Verhuver may be caught inside the wheel if the... Oh, actually he built a lot of docks of his own. Very nice. But taking back control of the wheel. He's adding some bireams. And I don't think Eery knows. He's as oblivious as I am. There's nothing at home for Verhuver to defend. He's queuing up 20 spearmen from all his barracks. Still 22 spearmen here alive. It looks like Verhuver is taking it on the water. Eery only has the one dock left to build some more triremes. He's making fishing boats. These bireams could do a lot of damage to the army, I feel. Just targets the chariots, he could hit them. He does have to fire. Uh-oh. Looks like the camel raid was cleaned up. So the villager count is still very equal. Eery sending in some scouting units. Eery is one edge ahead. He has this very fast moving army. But since the battle is so focused around this water in the middle, he cannot really use his speed to his advantage just yet. I guess he is catching Verhuver out of position here a little bit. Let's see what he decides to do with the water. He only has the 1, 2, 3 fishing boats left. There are some triremes. Looks like he's just going straight into the base of Verhuver. It's 20 chariots, 12 camel champion. So as the upgrade lead, I don't see an army still from Verhuver. At the same time, Verhuver pushing in the water, but there are some triremes here again hitting these bowmen. Should really try to spread the units. He's dancing around with the spearmen, very nice. But Eery is just going in. Already 20 villagers down for Verhuver, and Verhuver just resigns right there. Perhaps a bit prematurely, but still Eery was very ahead. And was just playing very well. So GG. Eery going up 2-0. Alright, so the rules are that you have to play at least 2 civilizations in one series. So the previous round was all best of 3, and that didn't really matter then, the rule. But now, since it's a best of 5, players have a bit more freedom and could go back to their initial civ. Or, I mean, they've both met the requirement that they should play 2 civs. So they can play whatever they want now. Right, let's go and check some stats of this game. So in terms of economy, I think both players were quite equal. And actually Eery dipping down in the village count here a little bit. I think this was maybe the fishing boats dying, not sure. Yeah, for the military, Verhuver was losing some units. Of course, Eery's bar is a bit low here because he only has 2 population units, which is the thing I just talked about. But really not much action, not many straight up engagements where both players go until one player is left standing. So interesting game. Eery outgathering Verhuver by quite a bit still. And actually this is a big difference, killing so many more units. Right, so Verhuver can pick the next map. So we're waiting for him right now to see what he will pick. So be right back, guys. Alright guys, we're back with this game 3. Verhuver's tournament life is on the line. He decided to go for mountain crossing and go with his Persia. And Eery going for his Greek. Now Greeky will play tomorrow. I'm getting ahead of myself. Looks like Eery may call for a restart here actually. Actually, I would call for a restart if I was him. But we'll see. Both players going for a fast duck. Looks like Eery is just going to go with it. He's up 2-0, he's confident. He doesn't have the best spawn. Usually some trees spawn a bit closer to your town center. Very nicely building the dock next to fish, both fish and the trees, so he can have some. He doesn't have to build a wood storehouse and can gather close to this dock. If you look at Verhuver's base, he has to build a wood storehouse. So Eery getting a slight advantage in that regard. At the same time, his dock is pretty far from his town center. So this is a pretty standard opening for Mountain Crossing. Going for a hunt and then for a duck. And then usually the games go pretty boomy and both players go for a fast town center. But of course there's also the middle lake. Which I think in that situation, if both players go for a fast town center, then you can just walk up here and take the middle pond. So it's going to be interesting to see what players decide to do. Yeah, the ace saying, he's asking in the chat if there's a losers round. No, so the round of 8 and from now on we are in single elimination. So we everything is best of 5 and there is no losers round. So if you lose your series, you're out of the tournament. So after this weekend there will be 4 players left, and right now it's looking good for Eery. So let's see if Verhuver has some crazy strats up his sleeve. Now that it's on match point. And there we go, Verhuver sending a villager over and basically taking the pond for free. Let's see what Eery decides to do. He could just age up right now. And I think, okay, I think I know what he's doing. And I should have checked at the start whether there were any back doors. You guys know what I'm talking about. You can build a dock on your opponent's pond. And I think the options are there at both sides. And here he has a very sneaky villager. Taking the opportunity to build a dock in Verhuver's pond. So this is going to be a disaster for Verhuver. So what Eery will do is he will build a dock over here. And then build some triremes. And ruin Verhuver's economy over here. So interesting, Verhuver going straight for a galley on the middle pond. Actually he cancels it. No, he doesn't. So we often see players do this, and I think you're probably better off going for a few fishing boats and just scouting around, especially in this spawn. There we go, he's listening to my advice. Because in this spawn, basically if you have line of sight over here, then actually maybe villagers can cross to the trees right here. Usually you can just spread your fishing boats all around the pond and have vision of the entire pond. So you don't really need a trireme or a galley in this case. Oh! I think this was a very lucky scout by Verhuver. Yeah, he scouts the dock with a fishing boat. He's building some galleys, so it looks like we will have a little water battle here. And a very costly water battle for Verhuver to lose. And these villagers should get the hell out of here. One volley here could If I was Eery right now, I would shoot here. I don't. Eery going for the second duck. I like it. He's up by one boat right now, but there's a second galley almost popping out. He's not going for stone back at home. Of course, in this game you can dodge all the arrows by moving left and right. So that's what the dancing is about. It looks like Verhuver is a pretty good dancer. He of course has the fishing boats to repair his own ships. That gives him a slight advantage here. But he may want to consider going for a second dock as well. He's actually idling both of his docks. Verhuver holding his own here, and of course he has the middle pawn as well. Never mind. It looks like Eery also tried to sneak around, but didn't quite happen. It's a very hectic game right now. You don't see this often. Eery taking the lead. It's 5 against 1 right now. Shoot the villagers. There we go. Massive volley. Putting Eery ahead by 4 villagers by now. And there starts the big evacuation, and Verhuver giving up. Looks like there will be a second water battle, and Eery already has a trireme out almost already. Let's see, Verhuver is going for stone, so he will be able to catch up in the villagers. These triremes can actually hit the villagers, and Verhuver just decides to tap out right there. I don't blame him. So Eery moving on to the next round in a very quick best of 5. So congrats to him. Let me update the score. See if they have anything interesting to say. Doesn't matter if I show the chat right now because we're not moving on to the next game. Let's check these villager stats. So this is where the first volley hit. Verhuver was keeping up here. Yeah, absolutely love the proxy duck strategy on this this map. Nice execution by Eery. Nice adapting by building a second duck once he saw that Verhuver spotted him and was resisting. Eery outgathering Verhuver by a little bit in a 7-minute game.